Hi, how are you? Hope you've been well. I'm in an exceptionally good mood today because my back injury has still got me off work. So I'm able to film another video and I'm pretty happy about that. So today I wanted to do a halo eye using a new palette that I've been using, that I've recently bought. This palette is, to be very dramatic, like a saving grace. All of my neutrals ran out in my other palettes that I've just collectively been dabbing into. And then I found this one, Too Faced, something about nudes. The Natural Nudes, Born This Way, the Natural Nudes. This palette I have variety for the first time in so long when it comes to neutral colors. Variety. Look how important that is. Anyway, there are some colors that I don't use, like the pink ones. And also the sparkly ones are a little hard. So today we're going to do a sparkly look. If you're interested in seeing what happens, I have an idea, but you don't. Ha. Yeah, keep watching. Let me just tie my hair up. Alrighty, here we go. My experience with halo eyes has usually been to put some sort of eye primer on the lids because you do want that center part of it to pop more than anything. But I haven't been using an eye primer in what feels like years, so I'm not going to worry too much about that. I'm going to use a fluffy brush. This one's by Real Techniques, I think. It's just an eyeshadow blending brush. It's all rubbed off by now, but it's by Real Techniques. I'm going to go in with Cocoa. It's a very warm color, which kind of scares me a bit because I'm not warm. But just to add dimensions and stuff, blot that in the corner of the outer and inner eye. Because I have a semi-hooded eye, we're going to do this for that specific eye shape and hooded eye shapes. We're not going to close the top of the halo eye. A lot of them are, when I see them, it's usually like a cut crease, and that cut crease is the halo. We're not going to do that. We're going to have an open halo because or else it's not going to look nice. And with this, I'm just going to, in little circle motions until it gets as high as I want, and then swipey motions, blend it further past my eyebrow bone so that when I open my eye, you can still see the color. And I'm going to blend that out pretty far, probably a little further than my eyebrow, just to soften that out. And on the inside, same thing. I am going to bring them close to the middle, lifting the brush before they hit the middle, just so you can have that kind of shape, that circular shape. But I'm not going to technically join them together. It's just like an illusion. And into the inner corner of that eye, we're going to keep that dark, but still fluffy around, what's it called? That inner portion of the eye. Just go back and even that out till your heart's desire. This is the second darkest matte brown in the palette. And I am going to go in with the darkest. Unfortunately, this palette doesn't have like a stark black, but you know, every other palette in the world does. So because there is a decent variety of neutrals here, however dark you wish to start, that's completely up to you. Use your own discretion. I do like darker eyes. I do paint my eyes pretty dark regularly. So I'm not too scared to use the dark colors. I just tapped into the wrong color. I feel like when you start out with a halo eye, you do want to focus the majority of the color in the most creased, like, how do I call this? The most corner of the eyeball part is the best way that I can explain it. And from there, blend outward, or else you're going to get a really harsh blend and it's going to look very forced, for lack of a better word. It's going to look like a distorted eye on your face because you're not using your own angles and your own edges and corners. But yeah, just kind of feel around where the ball of your eye, where your eyeball is, and use that as your guide. Remember, these are your features now that we're doing, not mine. So feel around to where your eyeball is, where your brow bone is, and do it that way. I'm going to take this chance as well to take my pencil brush that I was going to use before, go in with that same color, and try and connect the bottom parts of it. I'm going to try and do this in layers that way instead of in sections. And this part, totally up to you as well. I like to bring, and I mentioned this in my other videos, I do like to bring my under eye shadow further down, a little bit lower. Just because I feel like it effortlessly hides that initial eye bag, and it helps bring the eye more center into my face as opposed to as high as they are naturally. And because this is the transition color, it doesn't really matter to me how much I blend it out because again, I do like my eyes to be more how do I explain this? More overdone or bigger in terms of eyeshadow. I don't really keep it too concealed. I don't mind buffing it outward, if that makes sense. And then just joining the corner from the bottom and the top and the inside and outside portions of the eye, just so it has like a unified sort of shape. I do really like this color. It reminds me of a red, brown, ochre. Yeah, like a red ochre, kind of burnt sienna-esque color. It's really nice. And yeah, with halo eyes, don't be too afraid to buff things out extremely. Because the eye isn't exactly a big part of your face. So even if you exaggerate an eye, from far away, you're not even going to see it really. It's the close-ups, like the Instagram close-ups and stuff that are so intricately detailed because they are close-ups, that have everyone that I've kind of spoken to about this worried that, oh, everyone's going to notice. No, they're not going to notice. Okay, so I've gone in with my base. I'm going to use Truffle now with that same pencil brush that I've been using anyway, and kind of blotting it again in that corner, top and bottom, because I am going to blend these together as well and connect them. But I'm focusing them now more in the pockets as opposed to blending them out. I'm still going to blend them, but I'm blending them in circles and like swiping motions up and down around the eyeball. Again, lifting the brush when it gets to the center because we don't want to cover that center part of the eye. It does help me, I don't know if this is for everyone, but opening and closing my eye halfway when I am blending this, just to kind of keep it in the same vicinity. And so I don't overblend on one side and then on the other side it doesn't, you know. And again, I don't really care about how wide this blends, but I am keeping the darker color in closer to the actual eye than I have taken out the previous color. And I'm going to do the same with the inner portion of the eye, just dab in that middle bit and underneath. The beauty of any kind of makeup look that you do, when you do it in layers, you go back and you can darken it as often as you like, how like dramatic as you want as well, which is something that I will do. And you'll see it again and again. I always go back in, add more black, make it darker. And when I go back in to darken it like I'm doing now, I darken a very small portion, smaller than the previous one. Like now, I'm just going to be blending it with my pencil brush up until I'm done with the darkness, and then I'll blend it with my fluffy brush so it blends nicely. And then in little circles just in that same area so it's not so harsh, but so it's not exactly going anywhere. There is a lot of back and forth when you layer your shadows, when you layer anything, so don't start doing this look if you've got somewhere to be real quick, like you need to take your time with it. I think for now that's okay. I'll go back and do more fine details near the end, but I do have to replicate on the other eye. If you find that you can't blend out a dark color and your like eye starts to get irritated, you go back into the previous color with your fluffiest brush, which is why this is done, I reckon. And you can go in and blot to blend it nicer together. Mix those two colors together. I'm pretty sure that's why layering's done. It's like a cheat code. Okay, with the center color, I'm going to use Swan and a brush that I have to find separately because all of my flat brushes have darker colors on there. Okay, so dampening that, flattening it. I will go into Swan. Hopefully this doesn't ruin the color. Gives it a nice opaque, if you can see, sort of creamy look. And the most satisfyingest, oh, it's not the most satisfyingest because it's darker than my actual skin tone, I guess. There we go. I'll layer this up as well then. In the centerest part of the eye. I'll blend it out later. I'm just trying to get the color on there. And this part's up to you, but you can bring it out as far as you'd like. I tend to bring it out about that much, which to some people might be a bit too much, but I feel like I have very small beady eyes in comparison to my head size. So when you bring it out a little more, it becomes, wow, that was cool. It becomes more of an opener for your eye, an eye opener, if you will. And it makes your eye pop a little more. And I do blot this on and blend it on blottingly as opposed to swirling and swiping and brushing it out like that. I don't know why I do it like this. Later I'll go in with the darker colors and blot them to blend them. I think it's because it's a detail look. Like you don't have the luxury of just messily blending it. You know what I mean? So like for example, I'll take my fluffy brush from before, go back in with Cocoa or Cocoa, whatever. And I'll tap out the excess like a lot And I'll go in where I can, just blotting, just to blend out the harshness between the light color and the dark color. But I'll be blending it back into the dark color, if that makes sense. So like, if I blot here, on top of that harshness, I then blend it back out and up into the original blend, not in towards the white part or the light part. And then the challenge with that is just trying to balance everything out at the end. And again, with this look, you go back and forth. So here I'll be going back and forth trying to widen this to match this one. I'll make this a little more opaque to match the other one. It's just a lot of back and forth at this point. And I'm not going in with any extra product after that initial blend with my fluffy brush. I'm just kind of letting it do its thing. And once the lighter color product dries on your brush, you are able to bring that out more as well. And it does blend more seamlessly. I am going to do this again on the bottom part of my eye. I've noticed a lot of people don't do this. They close the eye in with the bottom color and make it really smoky and really dark. But those looks are typically the ones where the top of it is closed off as well. So because we're not doing that, it's an open halo. In this center portion, I'm going to continue that open look. And if you're someone like me who has smallish eyes, it opens the whole eye, not just the top part of it, but the bottom part as well. And this one I'm not actually going to blend out too far because it is the bottom of the eye. And once the lashes are coated with mascara, you're not really going to see those fine details anyway. And because when you're looking around, you're looking down, it's the top of the eye that's going to get noticed. But just that little bit of brightness adds, in my opinion, it adds so much to the look. It just opens the eye. Now, there's a color here called Glistening Snow, and it's the shimmery counterpart to the color Swan. And I'm not going to go in with a brush, I'm going to go in with my finger, because I feel like shimmery colors just work better that way. And I'm just going to blot. Does it work? Oh, it works a little bit. All right, plan B. That same brush that we used with Swan. We're going to wet it again and see how that works with Glistening Snow. And swipe/blotting seems to work. Swiping on the ball of the eye and then blotting around, sort of like a blend, but just to make sure you get it everywhere. And don't be afraid to bring it up, because remember, we're not closing that top portion. The thing I like about the shimmery part of this look, or the halo part of this look, it doesn't matter if it's messy. Because shimmers typically don't have their own color, they just kind of complement. Is it shimmers that do that? Yeah, the sparkly shadows typically don't have a color, but they just mimic the color that is their matte co-pilot, so to speak. Are we doing this on the bottom as well? Hell yeah. I feel like this goes without saying, but be careful using shimmers under the eye as well. Like, make sure you don't actually get anything in your eye, because it's an absolute bitch to remove. And then just go back and sparkle any other part of it. I do go over the top here because it catches the light better, and I take it out a little over the brown just because it just does it for me. I don't know. I'm actually going to do a nose highlight as well, a small one, because it's not really a highlight, this color. Is it? No. Sorry for flipping you off. With no additional product, by the way, on the fluffy brush, I'm just going to go back in and blend it out more, make it a little more dramatic, bring it up and whatever. Because yeah, I'm not going to use an eyeliner. I feel like it ruins the whole effort of the blend and of the look and everything. So I'm just going to go in with lashes. Yeah. But I will be using an eyeliner on the inner and outer, upper and lower portions of the eye. With this, sometimes I do it through the middle, sometimes I don't. This time, I think I will, because I'm using lashes. Because liner does close the eye a little, but because we're only doing it on the inside, hopefully it just defines enough for the lashes to not look like they don't belong, as opposed to closing the eye. So again, my mascara is the Better Than Sex mascara by Too Faced, and I'm going to do a light coat of this on the upper and lower lashes before I put on my false lashes. And always, like when you don't do a liner, your lashes pop more because you can see the whole thing. Alright, this is the second time I've tried to wear these lashes and I can't. The first time was because they were too big for my eye, but this time they're irritating my eyes and they won't stop crying. So I'm going to go out today and buy more lashes, the ones that I know actually work and from the same brand. This brand doesn't work. I found that the lashes with the thicker band don't work on me. I don't know if it's, again, because I have small eyes or if it's because my eyes will water. But it's not happening for me today, unfortunately. I'm going to wear my nude lip gloss that I always wear, the Groovy by Bare Minerals, because my lips have been really dry lately. I mean, they're always really dry. But when lip glosses tend to be on, they're moisturizing. When they tend to come off, nobody notices, and you can apply lip balm and whatever. I'll be setting it again with the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. That's still new to me and I don't know the name of it off by heart. So this is the final look. Listen, stuff like this, heroin-chic-esque looks, I love them. Halo eyes, I love. I do like them better when I have a bit of a lash because it gives the effect of a wing without actually having a wing destroy all the blending that you do. But I do love halo eyes. I think they're very underrated, unfortunately, but they're very pretty, I think. Yeah, I really wish I had lashes. But anyway, yeah, this is the final look. I did use all neutral colors and it still looks like a not neutral look, if that makes sense. Like it's neutral colors, but it's an extreme-ish look, which I think is why I like it. I didn't actually use black today, which is impressive, because I always go in with more black. But I hope you liked it. I hope you try it. It's actually a lot of fun to wear out. People are always like, whoa, close your eyes, and it's always a lot of fun. But yeah, that's all I have for you today. I hope you were able to learn something and I hope you had fun watching. If you like this video or if you like this look, please leave it a like. And if you'd like to see more, consider subscribing. But yeah, have a good day, have a great rest of the week, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.